Welcome to Penance. You're listening to the 100 podcast, the show about CW sci-fi series, The 100. I'm Daniel Prime.
Hallowed be his name. And I'm Olga, the One Crew Warrior. Today we're discussing Season 7, Episode 4, entitled
Hesperides. Alright, so this is our first reaction video podcast that we do right after we watch the episodes, giving you our first percolating, like, what did you think of that shit? And then on Mondays, we release audio podcasts that are way longer, or way more in-depth. So right now, we're just saying, what did you think of that shit?
Wowee. I think a lot of shit happened in that shit.
Yeah.
It was a really chock-full episode,
Mm-hmm.
and I kind of wish that it was like an hour and a half.
Yeah, I mean, like, bonus time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I really liked this episode. I think that it has, like, a little rough around the edges, but just because, like, so much happened. But I really liked almost everything that did.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, I honestly am just kind of riding the high of enjoying it, and I can't really say anything in it that I disliked.
Yeah.
It was more just like, oh, there are some things where I'm like, I wish that was a little longer, a little bit more fleshed out.
Mm-hmm.
So if anything, it's not that I want them to have taken anything away.
Yeah.
I wanted everything to be additive.
I want more.
Gimme. But yeah, I mean, I think the real stars of this episode were our little penance crew on Skyring.
Our level 12s.
Yeah, new level 12. So, I mean, like, Orlando was fantastic.
Yeah.
That's
the thing that's really interesting because we obviously didn't our first reaction, especially to episode 2, was kind of was in a lot of ways negative because we didn't love this threesome group that much.
Trio,
this
Dan.
threesome group. But I really enjoyed them this episode, and I don't know if it just my head was in a better place or what, but I felt like they gave Echo a lot more to do. I think her performance was better. I think Hope has just been getting better and better and more interesting every time we see her.
Mm-hmm.
I think Gabriel had a good mixture of like his morality stuff and his like quips and things.
Yeah.
I think Orlando also, like, it was very like, they were all actively working towards something this episode in a way that like, it felt like it was fun to watch them try to figure out how to change Orlando's mind. And
it was fun watching them manipulate him.
Yeah.
And then it was fun watching them just like getting along with him in the background. Again, their like dynamic of trying to just be nice to him.
Yeah.
And then
that's so
and
true.
then just like the last part of them betraying him was just like straight to the heart.
Them or Echo.
Well, they went along with it.
That's true. Yeah, Hope didn't seem to care that much.
Well, she seemed like shocked, but also like resolved, like, I'm a killer now too.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that was like a fantastic. I don't even know if I should call it a twist. Like, I guess it's a twist.
I think it was a twist. Yeah, I didn't see it coming. I felt like they did a very good job in the scene prior of like them all, having dinner or whatever, making them feel like they really cared about each other. And this is very interesting for Echo to show that, like, 5 years went by and she still is as laser focused on getting Bellamy as she was before.
Mm-hmm.
And she also hasn't necessarily developed that much. I mean, like, it's almost like I would almost argue she's backsliding. And I'm not to say that I don't find that interesting, but I would almost argue this is more like antagonist Echo. But,
here's the thing. They're not working on the promise of her character development that they set up in the premiere.
In some ways, she's still following Bellamy's lead.
Mm-hmm.
It's just she's getting back to her leader. And it's, I don't know. I mean, we're only in episode 4, so I don't think we can, say that they failed in her arc.
I'm not ready to say that. I'm just saying the trajectory of what they set up for her in episode 1 isn't necessarily what I thought where she headspace-wise would be by episode 4.
Yeah.
So the fact that she's still like, it's been 5 years, I'm not losing Bellamy, I'm going after him, I'm like, interesting.
Yeah.
But what about the stuff that Rowan and Echo said to Ash.
Yeah.
Like, where's Ash in all of this? Or is it going to be a reckoning for her of like, I haven't changed.
Yeah.
And
well, there's that shot
still
from
not
the trailer where she's like screaming and bloody, and it's like there's definitely a reckoning coming in that zone. And I mean, personally, I really liked that it felt to me like a backslide, because it felt like, oh, okay, so now we have season 4 Echo again, but she's on our team, but you're still seeing how, from someone like Orlando's point of view, she seems like season 4 Echo. Like,
you see her thought process and how she justifies her actions, and it's like, well, I'm in favor of her actions this time, but it's
well, and it's the same thing also of her
or her justifications. I'm in favor of her justifications,
but it's also her. I mean, there's arguments here, right? Because it's like she's utilizing her knowledge of like faction mentality, like the tribalist mentality. I don't know what you want to call it, but like the idea of like, we're not his people, and I know what what your people mean to you, right? And like, because I've been there and I know that, and so I know we can't risk trusting him anymore. And I think that that's interesting, because like, is that just her being logical and intelligent, or is that her because she's like, well, that's what I'd do, and I am that kind of person? Like, it's kind of an interesting mix where...
That's an interesting point.
Yeah. It's also, I mean, we were talking while we were watching, I was like, do you think she always planned to do this, or do you think that once she saw Orlando's reaction to Hope killing that guy, was that what changed her mind?
I think that it really was her seeing his reaction.
Yeah.
I think that, like, we even kind of see it played across her face of like seeing the horror in his eyes and him screaming for them, like, we can't stick to our original plan.
Yeah.
So it's this thing of like, maybe she had this in the back of her mind.
Yeah.
Like, what if this happens? What will it be like? And then her worst fear was confirmed.
Yeah.
But I don't think she went into this interaction being like, I'm going to everyone.
That scene is the scene that I'm the most interested to rewatch. I want to see how she, like, I want to see if we see her thinking at all, or if it just happens really quick. I want to see Hope when she kills the person again, because I was talking to you about how it's sort of interesting that, like, so we start the episode, obviously, with Hope not being able to kill, and that, ending with Dev's death. And then now she is able to kill, and she does that to save Echo. I thought it was kind of interesting that, like, we didn't see how she got to that place. Am I supposed to read it as, oh, I can't let it happen a second time? Or it was like, it's supposed to be something about what they've gone through in these 5 years, or about something about her training. I kind of wish that we got a little bit more of a thread there, or at least a little bit more of Hope's headspace, or like, even like a 3-second close up on her after she did it or something. What did you think?
That would have been nice to see, but I think, I really want to rewatch that scene. There were like some micro facial expressions going on that I think I used to kind of fill in the blanks, but now I'm not even sure what order they really like took place in. But I wish they connected the cold open Hope a little bit more to the character we saw in the rest of the episode.
I mean, I think they did until the big time jump.
Yeah.
Like I really liked a lot of the, middle time jump.
Where we see Octavia and her and painting the Hesperides onto the
Well, I was talking about like, there's so many time jumps. I'm talking about like before they have their haircuts.
Oh, okay. Like of our group. Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah. I know. I think that the opening was really interesting, and I'm excited to rewatch that and to talk about that in more depth too. Also, there were some like strange audio choices that I wasn't sure if it was the show or our audio system or the way it was streamed, or if it was just a choice. If it was just a choice, I don't know how I feel.
Of like dialogue in favor of the really like prominent music.
Yeah, I don't know. It felt odd to me, but I guess maybe it was an artistic choice. I won't harp on it in case it was just a technical issue.
Yeah. You did wonder, like, is Dev hearing impaired? I'm like, that would be an interesting choice. I'm like, well, we don't know.
We'll never
know, maybe.
Should we talk a little bit about the Clark side of things?
We should probably talk about our protagonists. Yeah.
Is she the protagonist right now? I'm not so sure. But
Target, Clark, Griffin, hello, Wanheda, considered
Extremely armed.
Okay, so I misread it and I thought it said extremely armed and extremely dangerous. No, it was considered armed.
No, she is extremely armed.
She is extremely armed. I mean, like, we saw that scene, but also...
I mean, so here's the thing about the Sanctum stuff that's interesting. I enjoyed everything we got. I kind of wish it was in a different episode so that we got a little bit more time on the other people and then a little bit more time on this, because I kind of felt like this didn't get as much due as it deserved, especially like how quickly we go over the like, yeah, I'm going to protect Maddie. You just go on. And it's like, this is a wormhole. Let's just pick this one. Okay. Like, it just felt very quick.
Yeah. Felt also a little, I mean, I know they were like, we're taking a big risk, but I'm like, this is a really big risk.
Yeah. It felt a little rushed. And then also the fact that like, they didn't put the suits on. They didn't talk about putting the suits on. I am very interested to learn why sometimes you lose your memory and sometimes you don't. I loved Raven coming in and shooting down everybody. Even
though that's like freaking terrible.
Yeah, well, that's the great thing. It was like the fact that she did it was really badass, but then the fact that it affected her and added to her thing, really
of
good.
Her traumas and her guilt of taking lives.
Yeah, and pairing her with Jordan, I think, worked really well. I will say I feel like Jordan was a little bit... he was like reset in some ways back to his old character and less so the character that he's been lately.
We've kind of wanted that, though.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, it felt a little off to me that he was like, we did it after she killed the 8 people. Like, I'm like, okay, I'm on board with that version, especially because he realized like seconds later what that meant for her, and I'm on board with them both being like the more moral ones, but like learning how difficult and gray things are. But it didn't really feel like it totally jived with who we've been seeing.
He felt more like Clark of like, I'm sorry you're carrying this burden, but like you had to do it. And it's like, you should not be. Jordan and Clark should be on kind of different sides of the moral compass. Just a little bit.
So much mythology stuff in this episode. It's going to take a long time to dig through it all on the audio podcast. I think the most obvious things, it's worth mentioning that like Second Dawn had levels also. They talked about escaping the world on fire. Definitely tying, I mean, at this point, I feel very confident in saying the disciples are tied to Cadigan and the Second Dawn.
I'm inclined to believe that as well.
Yeah. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff from the HUD of the mask or the helmet that we can discern from that stuff, but we haven't had time. Heads up display.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I was like, is he mispronouncing hub?
No. Heads up display is what it like when you're seeing what's they're looking through their thingamajiggy.
The more you know.
I mean, there's so much. I'm trying to figure out what to even talk about.
I want to dig through the symbols of the different planets and things like that. I'm really excited for that.
I think, to me, honestly, the biggest surprise is the Gaia thing. Yeah, like, I felt like other than the Gaia thing, like, and the Echo betraying
in
Orlando.
This arc, in this storyline,
in the Sanctum thing, I felt like, generally speaking, I knew where it was going because of the trailers and stuff. I was still surprised they seemed to kill the bald dude, but at the same time, it's just very interesting that like I did not see that Gaia thing coming at all. And I'm interested to see if we can figure out if is it just some rando invisible dude, or is the bald guy still alive, or like what?
Yeah, I want to rewatch the scene of the shootout and trace that back. And also, I'm just like, did that last shot of the anomaly stone or the bridge interface, did it smash into pieces or did it just fall? What does that mean? Oh God, are they locked out of Sanctum?
It seems like it, because there was the whole thing of one of the things is inactive, which to me that means that the anomaly stone itself is inactive, right? So, man, so that does not leave us with very many people in Sanctum. I am fascinated to see what the heck happens there.
It's really just Murphy, Emori, Jackson, Maddie, Indra, and Russell. Well, of our named important people.
What do you think the chances are that they kill everyone on Sanctum? I'm gonna say it's not impossible.
I think it is.
Well,
Everyone.
okay, Jackson being there. I don't think they're gonna kill Jackson. I don't think they're gonna kill Jackson or Maddie, but I would not be surprised if they killed Murphy and Amori on Sanctum.
I don't think they would kill both of them.
I just think, because what I think is going to happen in the next episode, especially if you look at the promo, is I do think that by the end of episode 5, Russell Shadehead will have complete control of all of Sanctum.
I agree. I think Indra might die.
Yeah, I could see that.
I think Indra might die, and it'll be... It could be this thing of, well, they've been teasing all of, like, Gaia's unresolved issues with her mom.
Yeah.
And
but killing Indra when Gaia's not there seems like a bad call.
Well, that's the thing. Where are they going to be like, oh, no, they never could resolve their issues and, like, actually get on the same page or try to understand each other better? Or, like, we have a vision of them in the future getting along more. And maybe Gaia will carry the guilt of not being able to have that.
Well, maybe Gaia becomes the new Indra. And that's how she, like, follows her mom's legacy or whatever and fulfills.
But she never wanted her mom's legacy.
But she also doesn't know what she wants now. So
right. But I don't know if that would be, like, her happy ending in a way of her actually just being like, I'll do what you want, when it's that her whole thing is finding herself.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I agree that, like, that isn't necessarily where I want Gaia to go. But just the fact that I think Sanctum is going to be totally Shadehead's thing, and that they're talking about the last war, I think that war is going to be between the Sanctumite Shadehead group and the disciples. And so, I mean, our people are going to be caught in between that because they're not really on either side. And so I'm like, does that mean that I think a significant amount of the people in Sanctum are going to die? That's my current theory. I don't think they kill Maddie, though, and so I'm like, how do they get away with not killing Maddie?
That's a great question.
That's interesting.
That's a terrifying and great question, because it's not like I want to advocate for that.
Yeah.
Of like, to make a fulfilling story, you should kill everyone, including a child. No, I think the people most in danger are actually Murphy and Indra.
Yeah. I just feel like this episode exploded everything we could talk about. Like, there's so many directions I'm still, like, my head is whirring.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, okay, why is Clark important? What is the last war mankind will ever wage?
What is the war to end all wars?
Yeah, and it almost makes it seem like the shepherd, who we assume is Anders, who we assume is Cadogan, or a descendant of Cadogan, or a spokesperson for Cadogan. I don't know.
A believer.
Yeah. I mean, they're all believers, though. So, like,
a believer in Cadogan specifically,
a follower. I think they're all followers of Cadogan because they said shepherd them from the Earth.
Well, do you think? So, well, I think we know that Cadogan didn't leave Earth.
No, we have no reason to know that.
I guess you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's absolutely no reason.
Make it onto a spaceship.
Well, the assumption would be that they're not on a spaceship, that there's an anomaly stone on Earth.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Right. Duh.
So whoever the shepherd is, right? I'm just going to say Cadogan for right now, okay? Whoever they are, they almost seem to have prophetic powers as far as talking about the last war, talking about Clark being important for the last war. Is that because of the way time is bending? Are they able to somehow, like, take the anomaly and not necessarily go to the future, but, like, glimpse the future in some way? I don't know how sci-fi we're going to get with this. Or if it's just like, it's just interesting because
I want to hear more about this theory of yours because I'm a little lost.
Well, because if you look at what Gabriel was saying to Orlando, he's like, how could you be, devoted to something you didn't know if it was ever going to come? Which, I mean, it makes it seem like there's like a prophecy about the last war mankind will ever wage. And that the fact that the bald dude was like, hey, Clark, you're, like, vital to the last war mankind will ever wage, makes me think that, like, why is she vital? Like, it can't just be because she's a Nightblood, because there's a bunch of those, and I wouldn't even be shocked if the disciples can make Nightblood given all the technology they have. So
I think that's something combined with some kind of just regular religious prophecy and what they data mined out of people's memories, and Clark fitting that description, maybe.
I'm just interested in whether how much of it's like them manipulating people the way like the primes manipulated their citizens versus how much do they actually maybe know about the future.
Well, that's the thing that Gabriel brought up specifically. Like, as someone who used to lead people in a cult, I know cults. So you might be in a cult. Yeah. I am just like chock full of questions. Yeah. And I want more information. Like, I really don't know. I mean, I've been interested in the world building and like all of this before, but now I'm really interested in it. Yeah. I'm actually invested.
Yeah. And I'm starting to feel more invested in Sanctum simply because I feel like it's almost definite that they're the ones who are going to go to war with the disciples. Because who else would it possibly be?
And that's my question about the war to end all wars. Like, did they know it would always be against Sanctum? In which case?
And the question is, does Shade Hedda, like, I've seen people theorize, but like, does Shade Hedda, because maybe he did have access to some Becca knowledge or whatever, does he know about the disciples? Does he know about Cadigan or whatever? Does he actually have a greater plan than people thought he did?
I really freaking hope so. But
I'm just, it'll be interesting because also I'm like, especially if the anomaly stone's broken, it's like, how do they even get to Bardo? Are they going, like, or is the battle even going to happen on Bardo? Like, it's interesting.
We have other planets to choose from.
So I want to close out with a little bit of shipping talk. Because I'll say, when Gaia was saying goodbye to Clark, and she was like, I'll take care of Maddie, and it wasn't that much of a goodbye, and I thought, like, the hug was very friend-huggy. I was like, okay, this is it. This is the end of this. But then she didn't stay on Sanctum.
So their timelines might not be screwed.
Yeah, because I really, like, everybody, I had seen a lot of people talking about, like, oh, well, they can't be setting up Gaia and Clark because Clark's going to go off into Anomaly Land and Gaia's going to be stuck in the Sanctum plot line. And so now we don't know how, like, where she ended up. We don't know how soon Clark and Gaia will be back together again. I'm still not, like, I don't think they're going there, personally. I don't, like, even though I enjoy it and it's like kind of fun for me, but like, I don't think they're going there. But the fact that she didn't just stay at Sanctum definitely rose my eyebrows.
So I actually read the hug completely differently, and I thought that it did hint towards something romantic, like they hold each other a second longer than just friends do, maybe, and the light is hitting their eyes in a way from the anomaly. I don't know. I'm just saying that
I'll have to rewatch it for sure.
We'll see, but yeah, I mean, depending on where Gaia went, either time is extra screwed or not as screwed as if she stayed on Sanctum.
Yeah, I wonder, like, for all we know, she'll end up connected with Gabriel and the gang before Clark and everybody else.
Presumably, she went straight to Bardo. So
yeah, and again, maybe once we rewatch and we see what's on that person's helmet and things and what they type.
The
HUD. Yes. We'll see. I'm also interested in, we'll talk more on the audio podcast about Echo, Hope, Bellamy triangle.
Well, if there is
one. If there is one, that's the question.
That's the question.
All right, guys, thank you so much for watching this. I hope we weren't too rambly all over the place. There's so much to talk about.
A lot.
Yeah. Please leave your thoughts in the comments down below, and we will talk about them on the audio podcast. Also, check out the100podcast.com for all of our content, all of our ways of following us and contacting us, all that great stuff. Thanks so much for watching, and may we meet again.
May we meet again.